Hello everyone, this is Darshan Desai from LeapQuest and welcome to LeapQuest Definitive Guide on the highest paying jobs for MBA graduates. This isn't just a list, it's deep, data driven exploration of where an MBA can actually take you, how much you can expect to earn, and what career paths leads to the most fulfilling, lucrative futures. We're going beyond simple rankings and we will show you the specializations that offer real return on investment, highlight global salary trends, and also the cities and the companies that would be hiring you, and connect the dots between your MBA and the C suite. Okay? And if you're considering an MBA or already enrolled, right, this video is like your playbook for your long term success. Here is a myth busting insight. The specialization you choose in your MBA program often has a greater impact on your income than the school itself. That's not, to say that the brand doesn't matter. It does, but employers know pay for what you can do, not just where you have studied. A specialization isn't just a subject, it's your signal to the job market. It defines the kind of problems you will solve, the kind of teams you will lead, and the industries that will value your skills the most. Choosing your MBA focus isn't just about passion, it's about aligning the future, growth, disruption, and even the pay potential. Now let's break down the six highest paying specializations post your MBA. These are global averages combining base salaries, bonus, equity, and even the profit sharing. Strategy, okay. So for those who enjoy solving the complex problems and advising. General management, it's broad, adaptive, and ideal for those who aim to lead entire organizations. Corporate finance, deeply analytical with high payouts in the banking, FP&A, and private equity. Consulting, high travel, high intensity, and very rewarding intellectually and even financially. Marketing, especially digital growth and brand roles in consumer tech and SaaS. And entrepreneurship, unpredictable but scalable, with many finding success through equity and exits. These fields are not only lucrative, they also offer fast tracks to senior leadership also post your MBA. So here's what we'll cover in this video. A deep dive into each specialization, salaries, roles, and career paths, global data for early, mid, and senior levels, employer examples and city-specific opportunities, key schools aligned to each track, special focus on Indian salary trends, and a closing section on how LeapQuest guides students to these outcomes through targeted MBA admission mentoring. Think of this as your MBA career strategy manual, precise, powerful, and extremely practical. So let's start at the top. Strategy. This specialization leads all the others in average compensation and is often considered the most intellectually rigorous. So, why does strategy pay so well? Because businesses need strategic thinkers who can synthesize market data, anticipate industry shifts, and also make high stakes decisions. It's all about shaping the future of the company and not just reacting to the present. Graduates with strategy focus often move into roles like corporate strategy consultant, product strategist, growth manager, or innovation lead. Over time, they rise to positions such as the director of strategy and chief strategy officer or even CEO. Early career strategies begin at around 96K, but after 10 to 15 years of work experience and proven leadership, right, the salaries often cross 200K also. Add bonuses and equity, and the total compensation can much be higher. So, top school producing strategic leaders include Harvard, Wharton, Stanford, INSEAD, LBS, Kellogg, and even MIT Sloan. So, yes, let's look into the top strategy jobs and the salaries and understand some real job titles and the kind of salaries that they offer. First would be the management consulting. These are often your first post MBA roles, especially in MBB firms like McKinsey, Bain, and BCG. Second would be your senior product manager. It's a hybrid role combining strategy, tech, and customer insight. Strategy consultant averages approximately 130K plus up to 30K in signing bonus depending on the firm. And then VP of strategy or COO starting around 135K and can scale up rapidly depending on the company size. So strategy professionals work across industries, tech, retail, healthcare, banking, because every organization needs long-term vision and structured execution. So let's talk about the kind of salaries you can expect by the experience level and how much does your salary grow in strategy. Okay. Now between 0 to 1 years experience, you may expect 65 to 90K, often in analyst or associate roles. Between 2 to 4 years of experience, you climb into the senior analyst or manager roles between 100 to 130K. 5 to 9 years of experience, director or lead roles hitting 145 to 180K. And between 10 to 15 years of experience, you can expect to be in a VP, partner, or GM positions, often offering you approximately around 200K. Your growth is just not about years, it's about the scope of problems you'll solve and the strategic value you deliver. So let's look into the top employers for strategy MBAs and who's hiring you, and some of the highest paying and most prestigious recruiters. PwC strategy and including performance bonus, you can expect around 136 to 185K. Google approximately 120K average for business strategy roles. Amazon between 100 to 150K across AWS, retail and ops. Intel between 76 to 124K, particularly for tech strategy. These firms value structured thinking, cross functional agility, and business storytelling. So, what are the best cities for strategy careers? Because the location do matter, and the top global cities for strategy roles include North America, cities like New York, San Francisco, Boston, Washington D.C. Europe has London, Paris, and Berlin, Zurich, and Asia like Singapore, Hong Kong, Mumbai, and even Tokyo. So, why these cities? They're global headquarters, innovation hubs, and financial centers, offering exposure to high impact problems, faster promotions, and diverse leadership pipelines. Now, let's turn into general management, the second highest paying specialization for MBA grads. While strategy focus on what to do, general management, it's about how to make it happen. It kind of equips you to lead teams, manage large departments, and drive execution across global operations. Earlier career salaries begin with 85K, but the true magic happens when you combine leadership with results. By mid career, managers are earning around 146K and more, with VPs and COOs commanding 200 to 350K in larger firms and fast growing startups also. What makes this path powerful, right? So you're not locked into one function. You can move from operations to HR, from marketing to sales leadership. That flexibility also means you're a top candidate for C-suite roles, especially COO, president, or even CEO. Top schools producing high impact general managers include colleges like Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, INSEAD, ISE, AMD Switzerland, IMA, and even B. These programs emphasize leadership labs, cross functional problem solving, and organizational behavior. Let's look into the top general management jobs and salaries. So, here's a breakdown of the roles general management MBAs typically take up and how much they earn. Chief Executive Officer or CEO between 90 to 350K depending on the company size, location, and industry. General Manager or Business Unit Head between 140 to 200K. These roles offer full P&L ownership. VP of Operations and Strategy between 165 to 255K, responsible for aligning execution with long-term plans. And management consulting, internal or external, between 73 to 175K, helps improve productivity and margin. And senior program manager between 120 to 170K, leads large transformational initiatives. General managers are prized for their stakeholder management and the ability to solve people and process problems together. Okay, always remember that. So let's look into the general management salary by experience level. So between 0 to 2 years, you can expect 75 to 100K typically in rotational programs or assistant managers. 3 to 5 years between 110 to 145K, often leading a function, geography, or mid team size. 6 to 10 years of experience between 150 to 200K, heading a vertical or a business unit. 10 years work experience between 200 to 350K, CXO roles, often with variable pay tied to revenue or profitability. General managers are compensated based on scale. The more people, the more revenue or complexity you manage, the higher your compensation would be. Okay, so let's look into the top employees in cities for general management. And we have companies like Amazon as operational leadership or general management between 120 to 150K. GE experienced commercial leadership program of 110 to 160K. PepsiCo general management trainee programs, and you have excellent growth potential over here. Visa as general managers in payment and partnership between 130 to 145K. Cities to watch: US, you have Chicago, Seattle, and Atlanta, wherein it's strong in logistics and corporate operations. and in Europe you have Amsterdam and Munich, wherein you have access to EMEA roles, and Asia we have Singapore, Bangalore, and even Tokyo, wherein these are the APAC hubs for global teams. The next specialization, which is entrepreneurship, and it is different and not always the highest starting salary, but often the greatest long term upside. It's for those who want to build, scale, and solve problems the market doesn't yet fully understand. Earlier careers salaries are around 70K, especially in founder led or early stage ventures, but successful founders and startup executives can earn equity and exist worth millions. Schools that fuel entrepreneurial thinking include Stanford, MIT Sloan, Babson, INSEAD, IE, IM Bangalore, and ESCP London. These institutions have strong startup labs, angel networks, and access to VC mentorships. Entrepreneurship also trains you for entrepreneurship, building new business lines with large corporations. It's not just about starting a company, it's about owning value creation end to end. What are the top entrepreneurship jobs and salaries? You can wear many hats and their roles evolve as the venture grows. And here's a look at popular titles and what they have to offer. Founder or co-founder, variable income but equity based wealth potential. Startup CEOs between 90 to 200K with equity often 2 to 20%. Product manager between 95 to 145K, often involved in building MVPs. Marketing directors or the growth stage between 130 to 190K GTM and digital user acquisitions. And startup CFO or COO between 117 to 225K, especially in Series B plus firms. Outside startups, entrepreneurs also become VC associates, innovation consultants, or heads of business development in scaling companies. So, the top cities and employees for entrepreneurship, startups, and innovation centers thrive in environments that support risk, learning, and even capital. So, the top startup ecosystems would be cities like San Francisco or the Silicon Valley, the global epicenter of tech entrepreneurship. Berlin, Europe's fastest growing startup capital. Singapore, Asia's cleanest, most organized hub for fintech and biotech. Bangalore, India's startup engine with unicorns across sectors. And the top firms hiring MBAs with entrepreneurship skills include Amazon and Google for internal venture building. VC firms like Sequoia and Bloom often hire startup experienced MBAs, and startup accelerators like Y Combinator, Entrepreneur First, Techstars as founders in residence or mentors. Entrepreneurship is a mindset, not just a career choice. The payoff may not be immediate, but the rewards, impact, autonomy, and upside are definitely unmatched. The next would be the corporate finance, and it is one of the most analytically driven and financially rewarding MBA career tracks. It attracts professionals who love numbers, market analysis, and managing money at scale. Whether it's budgeting for a multinational, raising capital for a growing business, or managing mergers or acquisitions, finance MBAs play a key role in shaping companies' valuation. So the early career roles like financial analysts typically earn between 75 to 95K, but as you rise into senior roles like VP of finance or corporate treasurer or CFO, right, the total compensation easily surpasses between 200 to 300K. In investment banking, you may even cross 350K within the few years post MBA. Top schools with deep finance colleges are like Wharton, Booth, NYU Stern, Columbia, LBS, INSEAD, and IMA. These programs offer real-time exposure to markets, internships at global banks, and faculty with strong industry ties. Okay, look into the top corporate finance jobs and salaries. So you have the financial analyst between 60 to 105K. It's an entry point to budgeting, forecasting, and modeling. Finance manager between 85 to 130K, oversees business units and often reports to the CFO. Senior financial analyst between 95 to 140K, includes scenario modeling and capital deployment decisions. Treasury manager or the director between 120 to 180K, they manage the cash flow, liquidity, and risk. And CFO, the chief financial officer, between 180 to 400K, includes equity, performance, bonus, and board exposure. Compensation in finance reflects a lot of accountability. The more you influence capital risk or profit margin, the higher you'll be paid. Let's look into the top cities for the corporate finance. Okay, and mainly the financial hubs across the world offer the best jobs and the highest growth in this domain. North America, New York City is the world's finance capital, followed by Chicago, Toronto, and San Francisco. In Europe, you have London, Frankfurt, and Zurich. On it's home to investment banks, and Asia, we have Mumbai. It's the India's Wall Street, Singapore, Asia's banking headquarters, and Hong Kong, equities and VC. These cities offer MBAs the chance to work in fast-paced deal-making environments with exposure to IPOs, M&As, and global investments. The next would be the most famous consulting, and it remains the most competitive and glamorous post MBA domain. It demands structured thinking, incredible communication skills, and the ability to solve messy, undefined business problems. Okay. So here's what the salary looks like globally at entry level post your MBA. You can expect somewhere between 140 to 170K at firms like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, technically the MBB jobs. And between 3 to 5 years of experience, you can expect around 220 to 280K. Often includes performance and relocation bonus. Partner level between 400K to 1 million with revenue sharing, equity, and long-term incentives. Other strong consulting firms include LEK and EY and ZS Associates. While MBB leads in brand and pay, boutique firms also offer faster promotions and better pay. Let's look into the top consulting schools, and they place exceptionally well into consulting. And first, we have the Harvard, and it's a consulting feeder with MBB representation in every cohort. INSEAD, the strongest 1 year program for consulting with 50 plus of their grads entering the sector. LBS, London Business School, it targets the MBB and strategy and across Europe and the Middle East. ISB has emerged as South Asia's top consulting pipeline school. And then you have Booth, Kellogg, IESC, HEC Paris. Each offers structured case prep, global exposure, and even consulting aligned electives. And these schools prepare students with real time simulations, intensive case training, and even the interview coaching, helping you crack even the toughest MBB interviews. Consulting in India, and it's definitely growing rapidly across digital, ESG, financial, and public sector verticals. Firms are paving, competitively and offering global mobility also. Entry level salaries between 12 to 15 lakh, like McKinsey, Bain, and BCG. Post experience, 5 to 6 years, you can expect between 25 to 40 lakh, and post, let's say 10 to 15 years of experience, right? Project leaders, and you can play the role of principals, earning between 60 lakh to 1.2 crore. And the top firms include McKinsey and Boston, Bain, Deloitte, Accenture, and so on. Consulting gives MBAs fast track to executive influence, and you're not just learning business, you're also shaping it. Then we have the investment banking or the global compensation. Investment banking is one of the most demanding and highest paying fields for MBA grads, and fast paced, high stakes, and deeply influential in global business. MBAs in this field often work on mergers, IPOs, and debt restructuring and high value asset sales. Okay, and the typical global compensation for the first year associates post MBA, the base salary itself is around 150K. The bonus you can expect between 30 to 40K, and the signing bonus again up to 25K. And the total compensation would come up to somewhere between 250 to 300K annually. Within 3 to 5 years, strong performers can reach VP or director levels, earning rewards up to 400 to 600K depending on the firm, geographical location, and even the bonus structure. So top school feeding investment banking include programs in the US like Wharton, Columbia, Stern, Booth, and Harvard in the US. From Europe, you can expect INSEAD, LBS, and HEC Paris, the famous three. And from Asia, we have Hong Kong University, NUS, and SEEPS in China. Okay, these schools offer strong internship pathways and alumni connections and technical prep courses in finance and valuation. So let's look into the investment banking salaries that you can expect in India, and it is definitely it's competitive and rapidly growing. While the scale of the deals is smaller than New York or London, the learning and the exposure can equally be very much intense. Now, the typical compensation, so at the entry level analyst or the associate, you can expect between 12 to 18 lakhs, and the associate or the VP between 5 to 6 years experience, right? You can expect between 35 lakhs to 1 crore, depending on the deal flow and the bonus. And if you're playing a role of the director or the managing director, right, you can expect around 1 crore, including the carry or the profit sharing also. And the top recruiters would be JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Citi, and HSBC, Barclays, and Kotak Investment Banking, and ICICI Securities. And most roles are based in Mumbai, and moreover, it's like the India's financial capital with increasing hiring in Bangalore and even Gurgaon. So now the MBA salaries in marketing and analytics. And before we get there, let's understand the kind of colleges that is famous for this marketing and analytics. And we have Kellogg from the US, London Business School, INSEAD from Europe, Brockman from Canada, MIT Sloan, Melbourne Business School, and HEC Paris, and Mannheim in Germany. So these are the kind of colleges that you can, look forward to apply to if you're looking at marketing and analytics. And the entry level post MBA, you can expect somewhere between 110 to 120K. And at the mid level careers, like between 5 to 7 years of experience, right, you can expect somewhere around 180 to 200K. And while you work and continue working there, then 3 to 4 years later, you can expect a pay of 250K plus at the senior level, and so on. So for marketing and analytics for Indian salaries and trends, let's have a look. You know that India's marketing landscape is undergoing a digital revolution right now, and MBAs are leading that charge. From digital marketing to brand leadership, employers are looking for candidates who can blend creativity with analytics. So these are the compensations that you can expect in India. For a marketing manager at the entry level, you can expect between 10 to 14 lakh. Mid-career brand or growth manager between 18 to 28 lakh. And if you're playing the role of the head of marketing or the digital strategy lead, you can expect between 30 to 45 lakh. And if you're a CMO, the chief marketing officer, between 50 lakh to 1 crore, depending on the sectors and so on. In analytics, you can, if you're playing the role of the business data analyst, right, between 0 to 3 years, between 90 to 9 to 13 lakh is what you can expect. And if you're looking at a role of marketing or the data science manager with 5 years of experience, right, you can expect between 18 to 30 lakh. And if you're playing the role of the director for the CRM or data analytics, right, you can expect around 35 to 60 lakh. Top recruiters include P&G, Flipkart, Amazon, Swiggy, Razorpay, Zoho, and so on. And they all focus on hiring MBAs with hybrid skills in performance marketing, automation, and data interpretation. Next, we have the technology and HR, and the global compensation. MBA graduates with tech and HR focus are very much high in demand, especially as organizations pivot to digital transformations, AI adoptions, and strategic workforce planning. So these are the kind of roles you can expect, let's say, for the tech roles, right? We have program and product manager tech between 130 to 170K, and the companies might be like Amazon or Microsoft or Salesforce. And let's say you're playing a role of a digital transformation leader, you can earn between 150 to 200K, and your cross-functional execution is important. And let's say you are playing a role as an IT strategy consultant, you can expect around 140 to 185K. Now, for HR and people strategy, and if you're playing a role of HR business partner or the people manager, you can expect around 100 to 140K. If you're playing the role of the director of talent, right, so you can expect between 160 to 220K. So the top schools for tech and HR specializations includes programs like MIT Sloan, Cornell, Stanford, ESMT, Berlin, SEEPS in China, and NUS Business School in Singapore. And roles span the US, Singapore, Germany, and Australia, often within global transformation teams. A quick look into the technology and HR and the Indian compensation. So in India, technology and HR focused MBA grads are powering the digital economy. So the demand is very much high across sectors, and the kind of salaries that you can expect as tech consultant, right? You can expect between 9 to 14 lakh, product owner between 15 to 25 lakh, digital transformation lead between 30 to 45 lakh, and HR salaries as a HR manager at the entry level, you can expect between 7 to 10 lakh. And if you're playing the talent acquisition lead or the L&D manager, between 12 to 20 lakh, or if you're playing the role of the director for people strategy, between 30 to 60 lakh. Top recruiters in India include Infosys, Accenture, HCL, Zoho, Asian Paints, Reliance Retail, and global capability centers like GCCs of Google, Adobe, and even Dell. So, what are the kind of services that we provide, right? So, at LeapQuest, we just don't help you dream big. We help you achieve those dreams with precision and expertise. Whether you're applying to top US schools or Europe 1 year programs or the Asian powerhouses, our end-to-end support ensures that you stand out. So, we offer, deliverables like application mentorship, wherein we help you with school shortlisting, profile gap analysis sessions, and essay editing and resume refinement, and even the recommender strategy. Now, we also assist with respect to the mock interviews. We provide 3 mock interviews when we are helping you with respect to the mock interviews. And here is where you can expect live mocks and the video based feedback and pitch development. And we also assist you in terms of the scholarships, wherein the tailored funding essays and the negotiation assistance is provided, and the post admission planning also. We also help you in terms of the LinkedIn and the brand optimization. So we build your profile to attract, you know, the admissions, the scholarships, and the global networking opportunities. We have helped candidates across engineering, medicine, arts, and even sports backgrounds get into the world's top business schools. And we definitely understand your journey, and we will help you shape your story. See, every MBA applicant is different, and so is our strategy. And it is always college specific and profile specific whenever we assist you. And we help with personal career clarity. So, what kind of job do you want post your MBA? And we also help you define and sharpen that goal. We help you with profile enhancement from leadership experiences to certifications, and we guide you to fill up the gaps. And we help you with application storytelling. We just don't edit your essays, we extract the most authentic and the compelling narrative out of that. And we keep them in line with the already rated CVs and LORs. And we also help you with strategic positioning. So, if you want to have a career transition or a progression, let's say from tech to consulting or from medicine to finance, right? We will build the right roadmap for you. And with us, you can gain a trusted mentor and not just an editor, someone who has invested uh, in where you have headed and not just where you have been. Okay. And yes, for the 2026 aspirants right now, as the round one is approaching in the month of September, right? So we have precisely around 70 to 75 days in hand, and utilizing each and every day would be your primary goal. I know that many of you are prepping for your GMAT, so you can take up the GMAT sometime in the month of July or even August, and that is something that is contributing to 25% of your applications. And in that, you already have your 12 to 13% with respect to your 10th, 12th, and the UG. So the efforts that you're putting in terms of the GMAT preparation is filling up that gap of 12 to 13%. Or the quantitative capabilities is something that you're currently working on. The qualitative capabilities involve the rest of your applications, that is the 75% that includes your CV, essays, letter of recommendation, LinkedIn profile, scholarship essays, and so on. So we need to touch base them also, and the amount of time that you need to dedicate to the rest 75% would be approximately 3 to 4 hours a week with us. So if we are able to do that, we can plan our entire application timeline in such a way that we can at least apply to, let's say, 3 programs in the month of September and 2 more colleges in the month of October, and expect approximately a minimum of 2 to 3 admissions out of these 5 colleges. And let's say you're more ambitious in the month of November, right? You can apply to another 1 or 2 colleges if you are aspiring to apply to multiple geographical locations, right? So yes, everyone's plan is different, everyone's profile is different. People do an MBA 50% for career transition and 50% for career progression. If at all you're successful showing the kind of spikes the colleges are looking at as per the DNA of the college, right? You will be cracking that code, be it in terms of admissions and also a good amount of scholarships you can expect. And that is something that you should be getting right after your admit letter itself, right? And that is directly proportional to the kind of quality of the applications or the narrative that you bring in your application documents, and also the kind of performance you give during the interview. All right. So we help you end to end, starting from the college shortlisting until the mock interviews and the scholarship essays. And if at all you're looking at the 2026 intake, let's plan, your round one and round two in such a way that each and every day that we have, right, we utilize them and apply with the best possible applications. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I think this information that we have provided is going to help you in terms of selecting the colleges and the specializations and so on. I hope it was informative, and we would like to make a huge difference in your entire applications journey. If at all you wish to get in touch with us to know more about the kind of prospects that you can look at, or you need any help in terms of the application components, you can always reach out to us on our website. So it is www.theleapquest.com, or you can email us at info@theleapquest.com, or you can directly WhatsApp or call us on 93532 56447. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. This is Darshan again from LeapQuest, and we're gonna again get back with another interesting topic very soon. Hope you enjoyed the whole webinar. Thank you.